dimension metal, but it's hot rolled. So the hot rolled is not so good. You can see the edges are rounded a little bit, and it's got this nasty scale from the mill on this, and we don't want to deal with all that. This part we're going to make needs to be a little bit more precise than what this will allow for. So don't get this, get that stuff over there. You can see also how I have the end supported. You want to make sure that as the piece is going into the bandsaw, it is flat. It's sitting on the vise in a flat manner. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a measurement. Now the finished part needs to be exactly 4 inches long. So when we're doing this cut, we're treating it as a rough cut. So I'm going to actually mark it 4 1/16. So I'm just barely going over the 4-inch mark. And then I want to visualize and spot my cut before I make it. And so I'm going to use a square and just draw a nice Sharpie line. Be nice and easy to not only see, but also line the blade up with. So the next step is to get this thing into the machine. And you can see down here, my blade's really, really far up. So first thing I'm going to do is close the vise a little bit to get it close. And I loosened up, and now I'm going to drop this with this hydraulic valve. And I'm going to stop it just shy of the metal. And there I'm about 1/4 inch above the workpiece. So what I want to do here is just visually check if the blade is in line with my mark. And more than that, I want to ensure that the fence is square to the blade. So the way I'm going to do that is like so. I'm going to hold this up against the back jaw, and I want to sight down on the blade and look. So as I'm approaching the blade, I'm getting a really good connection with it, so it's pretty darn square. So it's going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and lock the piece down. There's 2 ways I can do this. I can either tighten the hand wheel only, or I can get it close and then snug it up with the quick action. So, and that will allow me to loosen and slide over for a next cut if I was doing multiple pieces. So here I'm going to leave it just a little bit loose and then do the clamp that way. Now it's time to start. So the way this control works is you turn your main power on. My blade speed needs to be right around 132 for steel. I want to make sure my emergency stop is not pushed in, and it was. And then I'm ready to go. I'm going to be doing the controlled descent, not hand operated. When I push the start button, I want to look here in these hoses, and I want to see that there's coolant coming out. And more than that, I want to see a good healthy amount of coolant coming off the blade. And that's going to keep the cut lubricated and the blade nice and happy. So as I release this lever, this little valve, I'm actually going to go righty-tighty on this, and I'm going to support it here with my hand and not let it fall on the piece. So as soon as I let that go, I'm going to make sure that it's coming down nice and slow. And I want to slow it down a little bit more. It should take a while to cut. Whoops, I forgot to do my final lineup. So you can see, that's a good thing to see. I went way past my mark. While I checked it for square, I forgot to tuck the piece right under the blade where the mark was. So right there, I'm perfectly in line with that Sharpie mark. And let's try again. After the blade engages, I'm just going to let go and let it fall on its own. So you can see now I have a kind of a bad burr on there. I'm going to go take care of that with the hand files. I will check the cut, make sure that it's good, and it's looking very good. So now we'll go get a couple of hand files and use the vise to file this down.